Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking all about Hawaii and our time there and things that we learned and took away, and I'm really excited to share these things with you. We've been back on the mainland for about 4 months now, and it's given us a lot of time to think about and reflect on our time living in Hawaii. I know that many of you probably have a lot of questions about it, about why we're not there anymore and all those things, and I promise we'll get into those. But for this first video in the series, we're just gonna go a little bit lighter, and I'm gonna be sharing my top 10 tips for a Maui vacation. If you're thinking about going to Maui, if you're thinking about going to Hawaii, most of these will apply to other islands as well. Make sure you keep watching, and let's get on into the video. So I wrote them down so I don't forget, so I might have to glance down. But these are my top 10 tips for a Maui vacation. And the puppy is needy. Okay, so before we get started, I thought it might be best to introduce you to maybe the best part of Hawaii that we got to bring back with us. So this is Andy, and you will probably hear her in my videos because she loves to interrupt. So please bear with me. I will do my best to edit out any of the interruptions, but I can't make any promises. Okay, good girl. So our first tip is visit the local spots for food. There are some amazing places for food on Maui. There are some beautiful resort restaurants, but there's also some places that maybe you wouldn't expect. So I really encourage you to pull over on the side of the road and support local people and local businesses, and just stop in and try different places. Don't get pulled into just those fancy places. One of our favorite places, which is only open a couple days a week, is Huli Huli Chicken on the side of the road. Like, you go and you just get this like amazing plate lunch of corn and rice and chicken or ribs or whatever, and it was really great. So there's just a ton of places like that, and food trucks, and just all kinds of places on Maui that you can get really good local food. And I really encourage you to check those out. Okay, now on to tip number 2 is buy a big sunset. Buy a big sun hat and wear sunscreen. Like, wear sunscreen. We all want to get a tan. I'm right there with you. Like, I don't tan. I've lost my entire tan since I've been back. But you don't want to get sunburned, and it makes your vacation miserable. So buy a hat, wear sunscreen everywhere, and don't just get like SPF 15, like get the strong stuff. Wear sunscreen on the top of your feet, because when you're wearing your slippers, your feet might get burned. Like, those are the things that are so important, and it could ruin your vacation if you don't. And so I think that is super, super important. Tip number 3, you don't need to dress to impress on Maui. Like, dress casual and dress comfortable. Swimsuits, board shorts, cut-off jeans, like, perfect. You don't need to be walking around in a sundress, like button-up shirts, like all of those things. It's just not necessary. Maybe if you're going out to a fancy restaurant at night, but even then, it's just, you don't need a lot of those things. I mean, by all means, I am not one to tell you, like, don't go dress up pretty and take a photo shoot, because that can be totally awesome. But when you're doing the road to Hana, or when you're going to the west side, or when you're just going to the beach, like, just dress casual and be comfortable, and you'll blend in way more and be way more happy and comfortable. Number 4 applies to Maui. So if you are going to Maui, you have to rent a car and you have to drive the road to Hana. And the thing with the road to Hana is, it's not getting to Hana, it's all the little places along the way to Hana and just after Hana that you're gonna wanna stop at and you're gonna wanna see and you're gonna wanna explore. The best times, I think, to see Hana are right away in the morning, like sunrise, and sunset. And that's because it's so quiet at those times. Most people who want to see Hana get on the road at maybe 6 to 8 a.m. and drive the road. It takes a good 2 hours to drive just to Hana. That's without any stops. So if you are already in Hana by that time or close to it, you are going to be able to see so much more without the constant flow of people. My best tip would be to try and rent a cabin at Waianapanapa State Park. It can be really tough. You're gonna have to plan ahead because they book up, but watch the website, check for openings, people cancel, and if you can get one of those, like, it's gonna be so great. We were lucky enough to stay there 2 different times, and both times the sunrise on that east side of the island is just so gorgeous and it's amazing. We got to go to Red Sand Beach when there were maybe 2 other people there. It's just such a great experience. You get to go, we went to Black Sand Beach at Waianapanapa State Park, and we were the only ones on the beach. Like, this is a crowded place during the day, and it's so worth it. So if you have the opportunity to stay in a cabin, they're pretty cheap and affordable. Or if you can work it into your stay to rent a room on that side of the island for a few days, it really does make it worth it. That brings me into my next tip. So my next tip is to make sure you see the different sides of the islands. There's so much, like, especially if you have the opportunity to island hop to other islands, totally do it, but make sure you allow enough time on each place so that you're not wearing yourself out and you are getting to experience the islands. But if you're just going to Maui, make sure you stay, like, okay, let me say this again. If you're staying on the south side, so if you're staying in Kihei or Wailea, Makena, make sure you go to the west side and the north shore. Like, don't just stay in Wailea. You're gonna miss so much. Same goes for the west side. If you're staying in Kaanapali, make sure you drive to the south side. Every part of the island has its own pros, and you're gonna miss things if you don't do that. I'm about halfway through, and I'm so excited to share the rest of these with you. Okay, number 6. This one is so important. Like, maybe one of the most important tips on my list, and that's be respectful of other people. Be respectful of the people who live there and the people who work there and the people who this is their home. Like, you are a visitor when you go to Maui. You are not there. You are not entitled. Like, be respectful. There is a culture here. There is a way of life, and you are being invited into that place, but it is by no means, like, entitled. So when you're walking around, don't leave trash lying around. Be respectful of people's land. Don't cut through places where you're not supposed to be. I think those are just things that are so important, that people as tourists, sometimes when you visit a place, you feel like, I paid so much money to come here, I'm gonna do what I want. And that is just, like, the farthest thing from the truth. And it's be respectful of people's land and people's cultures and people's beliefs, and you're gonna have a much more enjoyable time. And with that said, embrace it. Learn about Hawaii. Learn about the people and the heritage and the cultures and everything that comes there, okay? And you are going to come away with so much more than just, I saw a pretty beach in Hawaii. Puppy is being so naughty. So just to recap, this is their home. You are a guest, and be respectful. I think I went off too much on a little tangent, and let's move on. Okay. My next tip is to go into the ocean. Please don't just sit on the resort decks and stare at it. Go in it. It is so beautiful. Rent snorkel gear and go swimming. You will see turtles. You will see amazing reef. It is beautiful. Like, there are definitely better places to snorkel and see, but anywhere you go is like, wow. Extra tip, if you go in the winter time and you're snorkeling under the water, you can hear the whales singing, and that is just like the coolest thing in the world. And if you're going snorkeling, buy like the defogger, because it just makes it worth it. So many people, I think, snorkel and like their goggles are all fogged up the whole time and they just deal with it, and you're missing out so much. And oh my gosh, and if you're going snorkeling, either don't wear sunscreen, I know, but you should probably wear sunscreen or else you're gonna get burnt and it'll ruin your trip. So buy reef safe sunscreen. You can buy this in Hawaii and it's so worth it. I encourage you to do your research on sunscreens and making sure that you are buying appropriate sunscreen, because the reefs in Hawaii need to be taken care of, and the regular cheap sunscreen that you're probably buying at Costco is not going to be safe. So make sure that you look into that before you go. Number 8, 7, 8. Okay, so tip number 8. Go in the winter time. If you're looking for a specific time to visit Hawaii, especially Maui, I recommend going January, February, March. More January, February, because it's whale season and you can see the whales and it's just amazing. Like, that's one of the things I don't know, just seeing animals in the wild and just like in their habitat, and even if it's from afar, it's so cool. Like, I got to experience so many cool things, and that is one of the coolest. So being able to see whales, I definitely recommend going on a whale watch if possible. But if it's something that you can't afford or just doesn't work into your schedule, going on the south side of the island or the west side of the island, if you are patient and if you're watching, you will likely see whales spouting and jumping in the water. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Next, my next tip for you, I think we're on tip, let me check here. Okay, my next tip for you, tip number 9, when you're going to the beach, go early. Don't plan on like, oh, we're gonna go to the beach around noon. Like, it can be so nice to sleep in, but most of you are coming from the mainland, which means you're already gonna be up early. Take advantage of that and go to the beach early, like early. It will be so worth it. The sun is going to be way less harsh. The waves are going to be calmer. The trade winds will have not picked up, and the amount of people out will be way fewer. We loved getting up early, going to the beach, spending a few hours there, and then around noon, when everybody else started to come and the wind started to get pick up, and it just got really hot, we went home and we were able to get more things done with our day. Obviously, you'll probably want to enjoy it, but it's just take advantage of that, and it's a really great tip, I think. Hope these are actually helpful. Okay, my last tip. So my last tip is another really practical one, and it's just be smart with your things. Don't leave things just lying around. If you're driving a rental car, don't leave it packed with your valuables. You can wear your slippers, you can bring your phone and your camera in your pocket, maybe bring a little bit of money, but leave all that other stuff back in your hotel room, back in wherever you're staying, and you don't need to bring it along. Things happen on Maui, and I just want you all to be smart and safe and be aware, and nobody wants to have their car window smashed or broken into or any of those things. So just be smart, and most of the time you'll be perfectly fine. This is not meant to scare you. We never had any issues with this in the year and a half that we were there, but I do know other people who had things like this happen to them, and it's pretty unfortunate, but just be smart with your things. When you're going to Hana, it can be so tempting to bring everything, because you're like, what if I need this? What if I need that? What if I need this? I better bring 3 changes of clothes. No, you need a pair of shorts, a swimsuit, slippers, maybe a pair of hiking shoes if you'd like. Bring water, and that's about it. You might want to bring a few things of food, but there's so many great stops along the way. So yeah. Okay, so those were my 10 best tips for your Maui vacation. I am so excited to share some more videos in this series with you very, very soon. Some of the other videos that I have coming are our Hawaii story, how we moved there, like the step-by-step process, things we miss about Maui right now, things we missed about living on the mainland, a comparison of the two places, some of our favorite places on the island, best places to eat, best beaches in our opinions, just things from less of a tourist standpoint and maybe more of somebody who was lucky enough to live there for a little while. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something and took away something. But I really hope you liked it, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel down below. I'll definitely be sharing more about this topic and more about my life, and I have lots of exciting things coming for this channel. So that's all I have for you, and have a great rest of your day.